with your hosts, Dr. and Mrs. E, the empowerment couple, and their special guests, the Braziers,
Brazier,
big couple, the Duncans,
forever,
the fun,
forever.
hard-working couple, the Hurts,
Hurt.
the educated gangster couple, the McCall,
Oh,
the quiet mobile couple. Post some emojis in the chat if you're ready to talk about sex, love, business, and marriage. Hello, everybody.
What's
Hello,
happening?
hello. How are y'all tonight? Welcome to Sex, Love, Business, and Marriage panel discussion. We are super excited. It's your girl, Life Coach Vaughn.
it's me, it's Dr. E.
Dr. E, y'all. Our guests, we are ready. We are super excited. If you can hear us, make sure that you drop some emojis in the chat. Our guests, they are super ready. They have whole lives going on, but they decided to take some time to spend with us to talk to us about sex, love, business, and marriage.
Don't forget sex.
Oh, you said sex. I think we said sex already. All right, y'all. Just a couple of housekeeping rules, and then we're going to bring them on. Thank you so much for submitting all of your awesome questions. We're going to attempt to get to as many of them as possible. Oh my goodness, it was such good. Oh my God. Wait a minute. Did we talk about the registration? How many people registered and where they came from?
Oh man, let me look at the notes because it was all over the world. People was tuning
We
in.
had people register from all over the place. It was where, like
We got
Jamaica.
South Africa, Kenya,
Wow.
Trinidad,
Wow.
Tobago, Nigeria, the UK, Zimbabwe, the
Woo!
Barbados. Man,
We had people register from all over. So make sure you drop in the chat where you're joining us from. Of course, StreamYard, in order for us to see your comments, you will have to give them permission. So make sure that you all are giving them permission so we can see where you all are joining us from. So let's talk about it really quickly, and we're going to bring out our special guest. Now, it was very important for us to have this panel and bring couples that know their shit to talk to you all about it, right? Why do people keep going to other people for subjects that they're not well versed in? Why do you think people do that?
I don't know. I think misery loves company. People want to find people that suck like they suck.
That's
You better
terrible.
get with people that's doing it right,
I'm
man.
just saying. So it was very important for us to have this panel discussion, because we understand people are looking for hope. You're looking for inspiration. You're looking for guidance. So why not bring to you all 4, 5, including the empowerment couple, bring them to you so we can share with you our wealth of knowledge and information. So let's go ahead and get this party started. I do want to give one prize away before we bring them out. The first person to register, it's always a blessing to be the first. I'm going to give out her email address. You got to be in attendance to get this. The sexy back diva. The sexy back diva. All right. So let's go ahead and get it rolling. 1 second. I think, give me 1 second, y'all. Oh, here we go. Can y'all hear us on Zoom? They said Zoom was not working. The sound for Zoom was not working. Can y'all hear us now? All right. So let's go ahead and start bringing it. Yes. Awesome. Yes, y'all can. We apologize about that.
They missed all the intro?
Yes, they missed all the intro. It's all right. They're hanging with us. Let's go ahead and start bringing out the beautiful couples. We're going to go ahead and bring out
the Braziers. Man, this is the fit pro black couple.
Awesome. How y'all doing tonight?
We're good.
Wonderful family, wonderful.
Man, it's
Thank
good
you
to
for
see
having
y'all,
me.
man. I think all the people that came from like Trinidad and all that, they're y'all people, man. I know people all over the world.
All right, let's keep it rolling. Who do we got coming in next?
The
We
Dunkins.
have the Duncans coming in next. Hey there, Duncans. How y'all doing?
What's up? What's
There they
up?
go.
Yeah, Duncans. Ow, ow.
Yeah, that's the forever Duncan. What's up with y'all?
Hey, what
Good.
up? Yo, hey y'all.
All right, let's keep it rolling. We have the
The
herd,
Hers. My man Debo in there.
the educated gangster couple. All right, let's.
Educated gangster.
How y'all doing tonight?
Man,
We're doing amazing.
Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome.
And absolutely not least, the
The
McCall.
McCall.
How y'all?
Look at him. Look at him.
Good.
They're the quiet mogul couple. Y'all can't be quiet tonight. Not
Oh, we're not gonna be quiet.
Not tonight.
No,
Y'all
not
doing
tonight.
good things. You got to hear about it.
Awesome. So as people continue to come in, they're saying hello from Ghana, South Africa. Oh my goodness, they're all over the place here to talk to you all about sex, love, and marriage. Are y'all ready to talk about it tonight?
Let's do
Bring
it.
it.
Do we all got our glasses? Do we all have our glasses?
Little sippy sip.
Yes.
Oh, they on parent duty. Remember when they were real young, you couldn't get drunk while the kids.
Oh, they being good parents.
Aw.
Y'all in the house?
Awesome. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and get started with the questions. Now, before we get started, we of course gotta break the ice a little bit. So we're gonna play a little game. Y'all ready for this game?
Yes, let's do it.
All right. Y'all nervous?
Never know what you're getting into with her game. She'd be like, "You ready for a game?" I'm like,
Yeah.
"I don't know."
All right, y'all. So this is called the blank one. I'm going to roll off a bunch of statements, and I want you to point either at yourself or your partner if this identifies with them, okay? If this is your partner, okay? Y'all ready? Look at you already saying something be good.
Be honest about these questions.
Oh, that's what they supposed to do? We already know. All right. So if it's you, you can just point at yourself or raise your hand. But if it's your partner, you point at them, okay? Y'all ready? Everybody, look at everybody. No hitting each other under the table, like, right?
Hey, look, and disclosure, we did not go over any of these questions and answers first. We did not go over any, and we ain't team up. So this is the first time we hearing this jump too.
All right, y'all ready?
Yeah.
Okay, the silly one.
Me?
I guess.
The horny one. The ready to fight one. So both of y'all the hearse. Both of y'all. Yes, definitely.
Oh,
He said the bow.
The early bird one.
Both.
Yeah.
All right. The one that will take the fall. The one that's like, blame it all on me.
Me.
Look,
They don't know. They're like me.
The good cop.
Oh,
the what?
The good cop.
The good cop.
The good cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's me.
The visionary.
Me.
I say both.
Oh, yeah, we both.
yeah, we had to do like that with
Yeah, I
both
think
of us.
we- yeah,
We can just say
yeah,
it ourselves.
We can do both. Okay, all right. The supportive one.
Both. Oh, you don't think I'm supportive?
The logical one.
Definitely.
Yeah, you.
Hold up, the McCalls ain't do. What y'all lost?
No, I said him.
Nah, it's definitely me.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Like him. The forgetful one.
Me. That's it.
I guess so.
Yeah. Yeah.
You had to say that question.
The sensitive one.
All the women.
Agreed. Yeah, all the women.
The patient one.
Definitely the patient one.
The know-it-all.
Oh wait,
See, Kobe, thank you for being honest. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's you, Effie.
Rob,
I
tell
know
the
everything.
truth.
Right, Rob couldn't tell the truth, see?
Right.
I can only be honest.
Awesome. Okay, 3 more. All right. The one that says, all right, we can't do this no more. We got to break the ice. The one that is the easiest, say, hey, let's forget it all. Let's forget about the fight. Who's going to break the ice?
Let's forget about the fight. Yeah.
I think I
Oh, the
would.
first is so good. Y'all balanced. Y'all real good, both y'all. All right, the spontaneous one.
Me.
Definitely are. I think that's
Uh-oh. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Spontaneous. Yeah. Okay. I don't know. The Duncans got some, Alfred. I mean, a whole wedding. I mean,
Yeah, they
Come on,
you
sir.
get engaged and married on the
She's doing her
same
thing
day.
now. She be doing her thing now.
That's the definition of spontaneous.
yeah, they right there. They right there together. All right, the last one. Who said I love you first?
Mm.
Yeah.
Really?
I
You
did
think so?
actually. No, I asked you.
Yes,
Did
you
you?
did.
I
You
did.
said yeah.
See, anyway. All right, y'all. That was the icebreaker. So
It was
you
the
all
D.
got to know the
It
couple.
was the D.
Oh, yeah. I agree. I agree. I agree.
Oh my God.
Said I was a forgetful one. I
Okay.
don't remember that.
Right. Oh, now he's the forgetful one. Now we know. All right. All right, y'all. So let's get down to the questions. Sex, love, business, and marriage. Sex, love, business, and marriage. All right. How do you balance it? That was one of the main questions. And I want every couple to answer this. Everyone wanted to know, how do you all are in public facing, you have families, you have businesses, successful businesses. And of course you're married. How do you balance it all? Anyone can go.
Well, I would say, I'll honestly say and you can speak on it, but I would say there is no balance for us. When you're really like driven and hyper ambitious and hyper driven, there really isn't any balance. You just have to be mindful, and that's one thing April and we've gotten much better at on our journey as being husband and wife and business owners and business partners. We've become mindful of, you know what, we need to carve out some husband wife time. Let's go out this weekend or what have you, or let's definitely make sure we do this with the kids. Let's definitely tonight or what have you, let's make sure we get it in, but just
Got planned for that time, right?
right. You got until 8:30. But no, it's just for us, just because the life that we live, there really isn't balance. It's just a whole bunch of organized confusion. And we've always made the very best of it. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. It's like every day is something, like we can plan something and it'll totally change in a matter of 10 minutes. So like you said, it's not really balancing. It's more of being aware of aware of where we are and what we need to do. And then the things that we need to do, we try to work it around of what has to be done.
And being intentional.
Yeah, being intentional. So that's pretty much the way that is over here.
Awesome.
Okay. How do you remind me? Because I think mindful and balance, the way you described it could be about the same thing. How do you make sure that you're being intentional? I think that's what people need to know.
Well, that within itself, because let's break down the word intentional. Like if you punch somebody dead in their mouth, that's something that you intentionally meant to do. So it's like when it comes to certain aspects, of our marriage, whether it be April and I like date nights or what have you, carving out time with the kids and everything like that. We are intentional about it, but there is no balance to it. We don't have date night every single week. Honestly, it's hard to carve out family time, with the kids and everything like that every single week. But it's just that, we are mindful when so much time is starting to elapse. And that's when the intentionality and everything kicks in. And it's because, our daily lives are just so hectic and crazy, with work and businesses and there's so much fluidity to what we do. It's hard to keep a game plan. That's just our reality in regards to what we do.
Okay. All right, let's go to the McCalls. McCalls, what y'all got, man? How y'all balancing?
I say just communication. Like you said, it's kind of hard to keep a balance or to say it's balanced. It's not like we can say, okay, 2 hours we do this, 2 hours we do that. So it's not going to be balanced, but it's more of communicating like, hey, we kind of struggle in this area. We haven't been out for a date for a while, or, I'm kind of feel a little overwhelmed. How about this lunch or this dinner is no business talk. It's just about us connecting. So I think it's a big thing is really communicating. And even when we have concerns like, hey, I don't want this business to take over our life or us to not be ourselves or not connect. Just being intentional about having those conversations so we can know when somebody brings it up later, like, hey, this is a priority. We really need to spend time and invest time into making sure this is, this box is checked and that time is spent.
Yeah.
Okay. What y'all got, Dunkins? Oh, I'm sorry. She's saying something. Go ahead, Jay.
No, I was just going to say I agree with what he's saying. The only thing I wanted to add was that I think we've done a great job over the years of having really good accountability partners and even doing therapy individually together as like regular maintenance. Like even if everything is just fine and dandy and lovely, we still schedule regular therapy sessions. And I love my therapist, my individual sessions. She's more like a friend at this point, but I think it helps me to stay balanced and helps me to stay accountable to whatever commitments I might have made to him or commitments we made to each other or to the business. I think sometimes it can get cloudy when you try to keep it all together yourself, but having accountability partners definitely helps us.
Oh, that's good. That's
outstanding. Good. I love the therapy part.
Of course you do.
So for us, we rarely use the word balance. I think it's a word that puts a lot of pressure on relationships. I feel like I don't feel like it's attainable when you are, I don't know about someone with a 9 to 5, but for us as entrepreneurs, having a semi-new baby, a teenager that's graduating from high school, elementary student going to middle school, and just the businesses of it all, I think more so, and I agree with April and Kari with just being intentional. For Black and I, we've realized that date nights every week is impossible for us. It's impossible. First of all, we live far from our village to always have to take the baby every week. So we decided, let's do something that makes sense to our schedule and that also that we definitely can commit to. And one thing that we can definitely commit to with getting that time with just him and I, without talking about business, without a whiteboard, without our laptops, without our phones and schedules and calendars and all of that, is our date weekends. And we don't bend on our date weekends. Like our date weekends are planned well ahead of time so that we know that those weekends, even if someone wants to book us for something, anything, we are unavailable. And that is our boundary within our marriage. And that is the only thing that we really don't bend on, even if we're staying in the house. We're not bending on our date weekends, but we know that that wouldn't be a hard no if we had to do it every week, like a date night. It just wouldn't be possible with the baby and everything. Like just the last weekend was our date weekend, and we were supposed to do something, but we ended up saying, all right, we're still going to send the kids away, but we're just going to stay in the house and just rest, right? We're just going to rest. Even if we don't do something adventurous or spontaneous or surprise one another, we really just need time to just like rest, take naps, binge our shows, eat our foods, smash, you know,
A to the smash.
Yes. Without having to put anything on out, we could just be naked in the house without the kids, just all of that. So I think just being intentional and holding each other accountable, like all the things that the previous couple said, is what we don't use the word balance. I think it's just it's too much pressure, and I think it's not attainable for our marriage. I just really don't think, because of the lives that we live. We're both entrepreneurs, and so it's just balance is a wild word to use.
Yeah, so balance is definitely a like a very hard to attain, right? However, I think that you recognize when it's unbalanced. I think that that's most important, is that you can recognize when it's unbalanced, and when your partner or you need something, and you then express that this is what you need, or they express that this is what they need, or you see that it's something that they need, and vice versa, and then you make sure that you provide that. So I mean, like she said, I definitely think the word balance is like something that you can't attain like beforehand. But when you see things are unbalanced, then there's definitely, some work that you need to do to make sure that it gets balanced in that moment.
I love it. Hers?
Hey, so for us, I agree. Like the word balance probably will stress me out and cause me to have an anxiety attack, because it's just not realistic, especially when you have a lot of things going on in your life and in your marriage and in your business. I 100% agree with the McCalls where they say communication. I think communication is like top priority and absolutely number one, because if we can communicate our needs, communicate our schedule, we know how to work around that and run around that to make sure we're good. So like even for us, I know he communicates with me when he's on the range. I'm communicating with him when I have meetings or if I got to go to staffings, closings, things of that nature. But one thing for sure is that most of the time we're home by 6:30. So after 6:30, we're in the house, we're with the kids, we have dinner going, even if we have to order out, things of that nature. That's how we balance through the art of communication.
Awesome. I love it. So a couple of things that I've heard, which I hope the people that have joined us are listening. Welcome to Sex, Love, Business, and Marriage panel discussion. The question that was asked is, how do you all balance it all? You have so much things going on. And what I heard you all say is you got to be intentional. Period. Like you got to schedule this thing out. You have to make sure that you communicate, make sure that you have accountability partners. This whole balance thing is too much pressure, right? It's no equal parts. It's get it in where it fits in, right? If we need some time, we got to put other things to the side and make time for one another. Is that what I'm getting? So I hope you all in the chat, because we had I at least around about 10 people ask that question about how do you all balance it all? It looks like you all have it all together, right? No, that's not the case. All right. Number two question.
I kind of had something to say on that.
Oh, you want to say something about balance? Okay.
I want to say something on balance because we had a discussion about this early in our relationship, in our marriage, actually. Just the concept of balance and weight, and how that is perceived in relationships, because it can get kind of twisted up. But for me, balance is a little different. Like if you have something that weighs, let's say a ton, but it's like this big and it's on one side of the scale, and you got a whole bunch of other things that weigh the same on the opposite side. To me, that's balance. So what I hear is balance. I hear that you guys are making it happen. And that's what you need for your relationship. As long as you don't get that, if you don't get that, that's when it's unbalanced. But when you're getting that, you like, look, by any means necessary, this is our weekend. That's how you get the balance, to me.
Oh, so you talking about the verb. I know, going dictionary on the verb balance in the verb form, because that means stability. That means to bring some type of stability to your life, regardless of how big or how little. It's what works for us.
Right,
So that's what you're saying.
But it's weighing on both sides. So we got a whole lot of things we doing, but by any means, once a month, it means this much to us. Just as much as it means for us to be busting our ass every day, all day. Once a month, we shutting everything down, and that's our time. To me, that's balance.
I love it.
But when you don't do that, when you don't have that, when you're not making that time for each other, whatever that time is for you, because each couple is different. One couple might be once a month, one couple might be twice a month, one couple might be every week. So mine ain't gonna be once a month. I need more. So for me, balance is a little different, right? But you know, I think we're kind of saying the same thing.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the number 2 question, y'all. Here's where it gets fun. How do you keep the spice in your marriage? That was question number 2. Everybody wants to know, how do you make it last? How do you make it work? How do you make it drop it like it's hot? All of that good stuff. How do you all make it work?
Who want to go first?
Come on, y'all. Just jump in.
Hey, spontaneous freak shit. We'll just say
Spontaneous what?
freak shit.
Spontaneous freak shit.
Okay, good. Eddie, are you willing to give us a semi-example? Like,
People need to take this and duplicate this. They need to take this and do it.
First, you got to get the kids out the room. So for us, we have little ones. So when we got the 3-year-old out the room, like a few weeks ago, almost like a month ago, it was like fun and popping. I mean, we redid the room. We moved the couch to the other side of the bed, you know, things of that nature. So like, even for like Valentine's Day, you know, we had the kids in the house, but I went in the bathroom. He ain't know what was going on. He was in the bed. And then I came out. I had my nice little lingerie on. I tell Alexa to put on the sexy station. You know, I got on top of the bed, did a little dance. You know, that's how, you know, you want to keep the spice going just a little bit. So that's an example for anybody out there.
Awesome. Who else? Who's next? They
I
like,
would say-
bring it.
I would say, so for me, I like to send like text messages, even if like we're in the house all day working, but I like to send him like text messages, like real, like things that I would send him before we got married, you know, just like real freaky stuff, or, you know, just, it don't even have to be freaky, because for him, like his love language is words of affirmation. So whenever I'm encouraging him or supporting him or uplifting him about something that he didn't even know that I recognized, that's like a turn on for him, you know, just me recognizing him. And so I do those things sporadically. Like I'll just do it out the blue, and I'll come up to him in the kitchen. Like he'll come upstairs and I'm in the kitchen, and I won't wait for him to come to me. I'll go to him and like, just, you know, scoop up his meat, like, you know, and just
right.
like, you know, and grab him and just kiss him. And sometimes he'll say, baby, I have a meeting. or sometimes we'll just, you know, the kids are at school, we'll just do it right there. And so I think the word intentional is so important with marriage. And I don't know if people, you know, we communication is so important, but I don't hear a lot of people talking about being intentional, because when you're intentional, it shows depths of you that your partner didn't even know that you even had, or even was thinking about in that moment. And so when I do things like that, it's a surprise for him. It's a surprise factor. Like, everybody know that we surprise each other, but they don't know in depth how we surprise each other, like in the intimate moments. And we're both like really nasty and really love sex a whole lot. To do those things, it helps. It makes it really good.
I'm always grabbing titty and ass.
Yeah.
Walk in the room, I'm grabbing one of them. This is going to happen, or both.
Yes. I know for us, well, I'll speak for myself. I love the fact that you said being intentional. I get ready for sex in my mind way before he even knows. Like, I am getting excited. I'm thinking about all of the great things he's done for not only me, but for our children, for our household, how much he turns me on. So I'm having the whole, how do you keep the spice in? You get prepared way before you actually even see your significant other, right? And it's the same way if you think about it, when you're not in the mood, you're probably thinking about all the things that they did to piss you off, how he missed the mark on this. I can't believe he did this. That's why you're not ready to have sex, because you're thinking about all of the trash or the things that you don't like about him. Why, when he come around, you think you're gonna be all over him? No, and he's gonna actually feel that energy as well. So I know I'm preparing well ahead of time. And we also made up 2 little rules. Well, I made up one. He don't even realize that I think he caught on to it though. But we talked about, hey, meet each other in the middle of the bed, right? Let's have some type of signal. Sometimes you gotta create a language so that you all can be on the same page. So if he gets in the bed before I get in the bed, he goes to the middle of the bed. Like, if he wants something, he's in the middle. So I already know I gotta jump on top of it, right? Another thing is, I have this shea butter. It smells like candy, and I'm actually wearing it now. So he knows whenever I wear this shea butter, he already knows, like, okay, yeah, she's ready, she wants some. So sometimes you have to create some type of signal to let your significant other know. So
I love the pregame.
yes.
She tailgating before the sex. Oh man,
Yes.
I got to start doing that.
Hey, what y'all got, Braziers?
I mean, well, kind of like what Vaughn said. With me, it definitely starts like, way before we actually do it. I'm huge on texting. To me, it starts like as soon as the work day start. I'm sending her, text messages and this, that, and the other. And see, I'm real big on nudes. So
with a body like that, I'll be big on nudes too, right?
Like, yeah. So I'm huge on nudes or what have you. So April, if I send her, one of my, let's just say, nudes of her I got in my stash. You know what I'm saying? She already know that sets the tone right there. And just just during the course of the day, doesn't necessarily have to be like, from a real freaky, nasty nature per se, but just constant text messages throughout the course of the day. So by the time, I get home or whatever, the mood's already set and yada, yada, yada. And to be totally transparent, that can be hard at times because we stay so busy. We stay so busy. And, I would say 80% during the course of the day when we're talking is normally business related too. And then don't let anything like an issue come up business wise. And, that kind of like throws it off and everything like that or what have you. So, but yeah, with me personally speaking, it's the text messages, it's the nudes. I'm real huge on, I'm an affectionate person by nature. So like in the kitchen, yeah, I'm all, like titties and ass. I'm all up on it and everything like that or what have you. And it's just, she's a beautiful woman and, I can't keep my hands off of her. So that's how it is with me.
I would say the same for me as well. When me and Christ started dating, all we did was send text messages to each other. We would talk all day and send text messages. This is even before, we had the businesses and everything. So, if I'm, wake up in the morning, if I'm home and he's at work and I'm like getting out of the shower and I'm like, let me just send him this little pic with me all wet and everything. So I'll send that on
all over your body.
So it's the same as like the Duncans. Just send text messages throughout the day because we're pretty much busy all the time. We really don't go or do anything like spontaneous, but I know that he loves like me being nude, me being all oiled up and with the heels. So I have to make sure
We used to, because
well, yeah, not anymore. We don't do
okay, so for even further transparency, y'all gotta understand, you know, man, April been fucking for over 20 years. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's a little different than us. We done kind of did just about everything under the sun. So, you know, so it's you know, it is. You know, I take it out of everyone on the panel, you know, we've been the ones that's been intimate the longest, you know, so we got over 20 years. But I would say this, like, April is a huge makeup sex person. Like, she is a
Look at her face. She got real big mouth.
like, I'd be like, damn, why can't I get this on the regular? You know, like,
Makeup sex, yes. Why don't you start in fights just to have
right? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you just wanted, you know, if you wanted to be like that, just say that, you know. She's a huge like makeup sex person. You know, I'm like, damn, you know, like I need you to be at that level off the regular, you know.
Who haven't we heard from?
But you know, but that's we old couple heads over here. So
who haven't we heard from? The McCalls?
Yeah.
Okay. So clearly we like sex because we got a little one right here after a night of tacos and tequila.
Oh, that's how they do it. Taco night.
I think what keeps the spark going for us is I'm a big, you know, like one of the other couples said, I'm big on words of affirmation and also acts of kindness. So he's, you know, we've been around the world together, started businesses together. But the most important thing for me is when he reaffirms something that I told him, or when, you know, he says, babe, you've been working all day, go out with your friends and, you know, I'll watch the baby and just go have a good weekend. And to me, that's the sexiest thing he can do because he's telling me to take a load off and, you know, just he's recognizing that I need a break and he's acknowledging it before I even have to say it. So I feel like he sort of anticipates what I need. And so when we have, you know, heartfelt conversations and, you know, I might tell him something that's bothering me or something that's been stressing me. And, you know, he repeats it back to me. And then he goes, well, babe, how can I help? Or how can I make things easier for you? To me, that's the sexiest thing in the world. So I'm turned on by his level of sensitivity and just, you know, his consistency with checking in on me mentally and just, you know, once we're connected mentally, like I'm a Scorpio, so it's gonna go down after that. Hey, Scorpio.
Hey, so we want to kind of switch over. Jay, go ahead, Jay.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say she's definitely has like I have to check those emotional boxes, or if not, then it's like sex not happening. She not turned on, like so. I have to like I don't want to wait until like okay I want to have sex today. Oh, I should have started yesterday. Like so I'm always checking that box to make sure you know when she's ready and when we're ready, you know it can happen.
Yeah,
I hear that. One of the things that I hear, and I think this may be helpful to couples because it sounds like you guys have similar love languages. Like I heard a lot of people say that they both like the same thing, but it's not like that for a lot of couples. And the thing that gets in the way is themselves. People get in their own way. People are not intentional about doing the things that their spouse needs, right? They have to get out of their own way because a lot of times when you're not speaking your love language, you feel like, why do I need to do this? Why do I need to do this? I don't get it. I don't need it. So why do they need it? Couples need to get out of their own way, find out what your spouse needs, and just do it. Get out of your own way. So I did want to kind of somebody has something.
Yeah. And also I would just like to also add that just be mindful because you know again, April and I this summer we'll be together 22 years, right? Yeah, it'll be 22 years. And so one of the things that we also noticed is that over the years, like different things actually sexually stimulate us. I know, like, I'm at a point now, I find her most attractive, not when she has a dress on, or not even when she's nude or anything like that. When I see her out here accomplishing like business goals that we've set, especially when it requires her to come out of her shell from a personality standpoint. When I see her just doing her thing and just making that extra effort, even though it may not be, in her for example, April, she manages our trucking company and she has to manage the employees. Like, I'm great when it comes to managing people and everything like that, or what have you, just dealing with people. April is introverted, so that may not be her strong suit. But when I see her like doing her management thing and this, that, and the other, what have you, and especially if it's a situation where she got a problem solve and just all of that and do a whole bunch of hyper communication, and every now and then she may have to get on the driver's butts, and she does that too. Like, yeah,
yes, let's go.
Right. I find that like extremely sexy. So I just think just as couples go through the years and everything in their marriage, it may be a situation where just a totally new set of things, starts that sexual stimulation. So
okay.
I love it.
Awesome. So let me ask y'all, how do y'all have hard conversations?
Everybody like, can we come back to that one?
Oh no, we made it up.
I mean, I started. I would just say just
hold on, you went last, man.
How would you say that? I think the way that we have hard conversations is to have them by starting with how we feel. We state the emotion that we're feeling. I think we've come a long way from telling the other person what pissed us off about what they did, because then now I done put you on a defense, so we don't get anywhere. So I think one good thing that we took from therapy was to state the emotion that we're feeling and then allow that person to acknowledge that emotion. And once we have the emotions out on the table, now we can say, what the issue was or what could have been done differently. And so I had to, as a person that's highly sensitive, I'm a Scorpio. So, if nothing goes right for me, I want to burn the whole world down. But I had to recognize that he also has feelings. He also has emotions, and he may not be as vocal about them or, as extroverted or verbal as I am, but I have to stop to acknowledge him and be fair in my assessment of how he's doing things and, to not be so judgmental. So I think over the years, we've learned to be more direct with each other, but to just to take time to stop and just gather our thoughts first before instantly jumping into a hard topic.
Okay.
I think for us, well, I'm not sure. I don't want to. If you got something to say, bro, I don't want to cut you off.
Oh yeah. So just to piggyback off of that, we start with our emotions and we own our emotions. So it's not you made me feel this way. It's like, no, this is what I'm feeling right now. So like she said, no one's being defensive, and we're not trying to assign blame or fix the problem in the beginning. Like, let's own our emotions first. And then when we kind of both kind of got our guards down, then we can move forward.
That's good.
Good stuff.
I think for us, to be honest with you, we probably got to a safe space within the last year or so, maybe a year and a half. I think prior to that, we were so in tune with how we felt individually, that we would just lead with that and we would hold on to that. And I think within the last year and a half, we've learned that, it's not, me against her, it's us against the problem, and so that allows us to come to the table with our feelings, but the end result is about, how to solve the problem just together. And so we've learned, like I said, within the last year and a half, it may have been even like the last year, we've learned that, you know, we don't have to think alike, but we have to think together. And it's been very, the last year has been very revealing. It has been very beautiful when it comes to like situations that we have to go through. I also think that the baby coming into play, it created a whole lot of stuff. And so it was like, yo, we got to figure this out in order to have a happy home. And yeah, and you know, I also commend her, you know, on this as well, because you know, I think that, well, both of us, I don't want to just say her, but I think both of us were very emotional, and both of us were very like into our feelings. And it takes a lot to put that to the side or to try to fight through that in order to make the situation better.
Good stuff.
To add to it, I think for Black and I, we have been like homies, like die hard, like this is my homie, like this is my best friend. And so when we got married, that added a whole nother dynamic, right? It's like with my husband, yes, he's my best friend, but also he always comes first, right? And he always comes first, and I always have to be honest with him because I sleep with him. We have businesses together. Everything is together. So I have to be honest with him. And I think for us, we've been growing. We have been growing, and even in the past when we weren't communicating super effectively, we were still growing into this because Black and I would live in a house and we wouldn't talk to each other for 7 days straight. We would literally walk past one another.
How we do it? How we walk up the steps like this? Don't
like
touch me.
Before we had steps and we lived in an apartment, we would walk down the hallway like that. Like, don't touch me in the hallway. Like, and this will go on for a whole week. And so we've learned now that we need to talk about this. We can talk about this now. If you don't feel like talking about it, I do want to tell you that I'm feeling some type of way, so that you don't misconstrue my energy. My energy is that I'm not okay with what happened, and it's okay that you don't want to talk about it right now. But at some point, we have to talk about this, and I don't want it to be tomorrow or 3 days. And so we've recognized that, and we like, you know what? I don't want to talk about this now, but I don't want to deal with this messed up energy in the house. Like this energy is so fucked up, and we have business to do. We got a meeting. We have a podcast to do. Like we have to be in front of people. And for me, I'm not about to be in front of the public and be bullshitting. Like I'm not gonna be like, oh my God, I love you so much, man. I'm not gonna get the accolades like you said before, Vaughn. Like all the things that he was like, I felt was trash. I'm not gonna to do that and be a positive. You know, I'm not
right.
So now it's like, all right, I got to push aside my pride and my ego that I don't want to talk about this and just deal with this right now. And if we deal with it right now, we just did this the other day. Something happened. I got so mad at him and I hung up on him. Right. And I haven't done that in so long, but I was so frustrated with the baby's party.
Look, I see your eyes.
Yeah.
Carrie's eyes got big. Like she did what? Yeah,
when we got home, y'all, I didn't even, my pinky toe hadn't even got in the door. Only my big toe, just like in the door. And he was like, and I had the baby and I had our daughter, Gabby, and he said, I need to talk to you. Like right now. Like I was like, all right, I had something in my hand. He was like, put that down at the door. Like, don't even bring nothing upstairs. We need to go in the room right now. And he's never done that before. And when he took me in a room, I already knew what it was. And I was just like, I felt like a little girl again. I honestly wanted to just do
right.
And he was like, we need to talk. Like, you're not about to hang. That's not how we're gonna roll. You're not about to be hanging up on me. And so in that moment, right, you know how when you know you're wrong, but you got like a little attitude, but I had to just be like, okay.
Right.
I apologize. I'll never do that again, right? Because I can feel the heat and the fire coming from him. And I honestly, I really felt bad. When I hung up on him, I felt bad. But my pride and my ego wouldn't
let you call back.
Yeah. So when I got home, he was like, hey, What's up? Upstairs now. And I was looking at him like, I'm turned on, but I'm also
Yes. Yes, sir.
So look, I know I just want to add one thing to because I know this people are looking for advice. Another thing that we do is that we try to sometimes when it's complicated, we try to take the conversation outside of the home. And we try to go to like a restaurant or something like that.
Take a walk.
Yeah, take a walk or just something that'll calm our nerves, to put us in a neutral location in which we can enjoy the scenery or whatever. And it kind of like lets us pull our guards down to have these complicated conversations. So, I mean, that's something that works for us. I just wanted to throw that advice out to someone if it's complicated for them as well.
Good stuff.
And for us, I feel, well, we're a fairly young couple. So when we first started, I believe you was how old?
I was 19.
You weren't 19.
Come on.
Put this on the live, that's crazy.
All right, I turned 20 like a couple of months later.
Delete the last 30 seconds of what she said. But when we first got started off, it was more so of a attack and then repair type of situation. Now it's more so of a receive and process. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really look at each other like I'm aware of your feelings, I'm aware of your emotions. Let me see how I could break this down and really understand where you're coming from. It was more so straight to defense mode. But now, where we are now, you know what I'm saying? We done grown, we got kids added into our lives. Now we look at her like I'm like, baby, all right, let me hear you out. She do the same thing. I'm aware of your feelings, I'm aware of your emotions. All right, let's have this talk. It might be bedtime talk. You know what I'm saying? We might be out. We never discuss nothing serious in the public. You know what I'm saying? We not no loud talkers. We not no screaming at each other. We're gonna wait till we get home and we're gonna have it out. She a firm believer of the face to face. I'd be like, man, let me shoot her this text real quick. If I can't get a hold of her, she'd be like, look, we just gonna talk when we get in the house. I'm like, I'm cool with that. I'm like, I'm fine. Anytime she'd be like, Cliff, we need to talk, I'd be like, man, what I do? I do off the break. Even if I did nothing, I'd be like, man, baby, what I do? Just tell me what happened today. I said, baby, just tell me what I did. You did something that's about me.
Yeah,
then I feel like, all right, I'm cool.
Too many things can be misconstrued over text. I
would agree. I'm naturally a confrontational person. Like, I'm not like in your face, but I'm the type of person, if any conversation I have, I like for it to be person to person, because I like to feel people's energy, see their physical emotions, read their body language. Like, that's just me.
That's why we
work. And that's why we work. But for us, I would definitely agree. You know, communication on our part when it comes down to having those tough conversations is that we just got to respect how our feelings, how we feel each other, and we have to own our authentic emotion initially. You get what I'm saying? Regardless if it's hurt, betrayal, frustration, whatever, however we're feeling in that moment, we have to own it and then come back and say, hey, this is how I'm feeling. I feel this way because of, and regardless if it makes us feel good or if it makes us feel bad, we have to take ownership if we did hurt the next person. And of course, come back and say, listen, baby, I apologize. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel this way.
Apologies are okay.
Yeah.
They are. I know for me, having tough conversations, because of course, in my previous marriage, I thought I was a great communicator. No, I knew how to talk, right? I didn't realize the importance of effective communication until I got hooked up with Dr. E, and he had to bring me down to Sherelle. He had to bring me on in, and I was like, what? He was like, you finished? I was like, no, I ain't finished. He's like, okay. He just sit back and just let me go. And then I'm like, I'm finished. He'd be like, okay, so now let's talk about a solution, you know? And then once I realized at first, of course, and I'm a Leo. I know y'all Scorpios, but I'm a Leo, right? So it was like, you know, what, you gonna tell me to bring it down? And am I done? What you mean, am I done? But what I realized is the effectiveness of how he was teaching me to communicate. We were actually resolving some shit, right? We was actually at the end like, oh, okay, that absolutely makes sense. One thing that I had to realize is that I'm the processor. He'll bring something to me. I need a minute. I need to take some time, sit down. Y'all, I will literally make bullet points so that I'll be able to articulate myself how, you know, I feel like he needs to hear me, and I can remove some of the emotions. So he used to be like, let's talk now. And I'm like, no, I'll shut all the way down. But we've learned that this is how we communicate. This is the best route for us to make sure that at the end of the day, that we're on the same team, right? So he allows me my opportunity to process. I have to come back within a certain amount of time. I can't process for 7 days. I trust me. I tried it. I tried. Let's say 4 to 5. He like, what? No, we ain't doing that. But I would literally sit down and I would write out my feelings. So that is a way that we can have the hard conversation as well. And you can throw away the fat and here's all the meat. Now let's go line item by line item and let's address it.
Yep.
Let's hear from the Brazers.
You go
Go ahead.
first. No, you go first.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Right. So having the hard conversations, like Christ said, I am an introvert, so I would shut down and not want to talk. We'll, like Sherelle, be in the same house, same bed, and we're just not talking at all. So for me, the best way that I could communicate and express myself was through writing it down or through sending a message. And that's how I could effectively get out what I wanted to say, because I'm really emotional. So if I start talking, the tears are going to start coming as well, and I can't get it out. So for me, that's how I started to communicate with him. I'm getting better. I'm definitely working on it, but I still have to send those messages to him when I need to express myself sometimes. But yeah.
and she has like, one of the things I've noticed over the past like few years, like April will actually apologize and, you know, say I'm sorry and point out why she is sorry and everything like that. I'm huge on communication. I'm very direct. So when I see there's an issue, you know, I want to confront it immediately. And then, like, I'm real big on taking the emotion. I can take the emotion out of anything and look at it for what it is, you know, without getting caught up on the emotional aspects of it. And so, like, and that doesn't bode well with her. But to me, I'll just take the emotion out of whatever it is that we're going through. I'm like, look, you know, here's all the facts. You know, this is what need to be dealt with. You know, that's just what it is. And you know, I'm direct. I'm like, look, I don't like how you do A, B, C, and D. You know, and we need to do something about that or what have you. So, and then if there's a situation where I drop the ball, I'm like, you know, I'm sorry. You know, I dropped the ball or what have you. And that's just what it is. So, you know, I'm more so the vocal communicator, you know, between the two of us. But kind of like what I mentioned as far as from a sexual standpoint, just through the years, though, I've revamped, you know, my methods of communication. I will catch myself mid-sentence and be like, and I would think like, you know what, let me rephrase that, you know, and I would be intentional about being, you know, delicate, you know, depending on the situation.
Yeah, he's gotten a lot better, because when we would have these hard conversations, like Kari will go from 0 to 100 in like not even a second. Like it would take him no time to go from 0 to 100. And right. I'm sitting here like in my shell and I'll shut down. Right. So he has definitely gotten better at, you know, working with me on that. So.
Yeah, a whole lot better, you know. I mean, just with anything else, it's just all about making a conscious effort to do better, you know, to improve. There's always room for improvement and everything. And, you know, as long as you keep that at the forefront, you know, for the most part, things will work themselves out.
Awesome.
Good stuff. Real quick before we go to the next thing, because I think what you guys said is a good segue into another kind of question. But one of the things that I heard a couple of things. One of the things that I think holds true is this: no matter how angry you get, that doesn't give you permission. Sometimes people feel like because they were angry, they get permission to just say and do whatever they want. And that's not the case. You know, what I hear is there needs to be rules in the marriage. There needs to be rules that we're going to follow. Certain things we're just not going to do within this confine, within this institution, we're not going to do. There's rules we're going to abide by. The other thing I heard is we need to set our pride aside. You know, at some point, somebody's going to have to set their pride aside so that we can get the goal accomplished. And we need to be able to do that. So we got to have some rules of engagement, and we got to be able to set our pride aside. But one of the things that I wanted to ask, because I think for a lot of couples, they struggle with setting their pride aside and being intentional and doing these things because they don't know what they're holding on to, right? So the question is, what is the glue that keeps your marriage strong and together?
McCall's.
I would say, definitely our son, but before our son, it's just our bond. What we've been through, even how we met, working together, how we went from, like, we met in 2014 and we lived in Alabama. And the same year we moved, somehow we end up together moving to Atlanta. Like, it's weird how that happens. It seemed really fast. But we feel like it was destined, and it's something that we prayed for and kind of fasted for. So we know the value of what we have. So we feel like it's worth, putting ourselves to the side and saying, okay, this is bigger. Our marriage is bigger. Our relationship is bigger than just this moment or just this, feeling like you're going to get the upper hand if I admit that I'm hurt.
Yeah. I think it's also really important for me to remember that if we have, when it comes to keeping things together, if we have any type of disagreement, two things can be true. Dialectically speaking, we can both be right. But when it comes to winning a fight, I had to learn that when you're in a marriage, nobody wins. Or no one should aim to try to win, because if I win, he loses. And if he wins, I lose. So neither one of us want to be in a losing position. So I think for us to keep it together, we've both practiced just mindfulness and putting the other person's feelings first. So clearly, if I see he's upset about something, that's not the time to, be petty or nitpicky about something or whatever. I think it's a time and place for everything. So like for me, I feel like I fall in love with him every day. I have a log of just all of the, nice things he's done the past 8 years. And, sometimes when I get upset, I go back to it because if I don't read it, I'm going to set the house on fire. So I have to do something to bring me down a couple notches. So
what I hear is there's, each of you has different glue. I heard Jay say the kids or your child. I heard you say that it's kind of like your love that you have for him. What I'm looking for is, what's the thing that you hold on to that keeps you setting your pride aside? It keeps you being intentional. It keeps you putting your marriage first or where it needs to be. What is that thing? Let's go to the hearse.
He's gonna put us on the spot.
I know, right?
Yeah, let's go to the hearse.
Brainstorming.
We was like, think of a word. What's your word, baby?
Yeah, what's the glue?
Well, we were discussing, we would probably say that for us, our glue would be our starting point, like where we started and where we're at now, to be able to step outside of ourselves and outside of our marriage and look at, where we were and how we're going forward and how we made it through those other trying times of our relationship prior to our marriage. It just lets us know that, hey, once we're here, things are still going to get better, where we can still get through it and things of that nature. Because when we started, our relationship was rocky from the beginning. It was extremely, extremely rocky from the beginning. And sometimes we ask ourselves, like, this was nothing but God ordained, because we don't know how we got here. Like, we just don't know how we got here. So to be able to witness, that transformation with two people, that keeps us together.
And
okay, Duncan's look like y'all. Oh, he about to say something.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Cliff.
Unbeliever of if you don't grow together, you grow apart.
Yeah,
that's how we grow.
Yeah, I saw something that said either your marriage is thriving or it's dying.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no none of that in between. Either it's doing something going up or it's going down.
Yeah,
Man, that's kind of deep.
yeah.
What y'all want to say, Duncan's?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I want to see if ours is the same.
I would say for me is knowing that if I am not conscious of his heart, I can really fuck up our marriage. If I'm not conscious, because believe it or not, he's such an emotional person that me caring about how he feels means a lot. Like, so I know that that sounds like cliche, but it means a lot to him. So for me, just thinking about how his heart would feel if I made the right or wrong decision keeps me doing the right things to keep us together. Like, as far as when I'm thinking about him, when I'm making decisions. And so I've learned to think about him, consider how he would feel and how he would feel like our marriage looked if I did a certain thing. And so I think about his heart a lot because I don't play about him. So if he's hurt or sad or frustrated or irritated, I'm not okay. Right. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I definitely take it on. I take it on because I need him to be okay because he leads our home, our kids. And if he's not okay, and I know he say that I'm the temperature of the house, but for me, I need him to be okay. So I'm always conscious of how I treat his heart with care. And that's my honest opinion. It's not a material thing or a physical thing that I can say that hope keeps the glue. I think that I know for sure that is how his heart will feel with my decisions that I make.
So I would say this is my dog. Plain and simple. This is my best friend. Like it's more than a marriage. And it started off like with us being very close as friends and me really enjoying. I like my wife, if that makes sense. Like I really, really like my wife. I love being around her. I can laugh with her just like I'm laughing with the homies. You know what I'm saying? We can debate about something that's funny. You know what I'm saying? Just a natural. But this is my dog. Like she's really my best friend. So for me, like that's what makes me consider all things, you know, because this is my best friend. So I'm always considering her heart. I'm always considering her emotions. I'm always considering just how she feels and, you know, how, just everything. If she has something to eat, you know, all of these different things, man, because this is just my dog, man. Like I don't even know how else to say it, but
real quick before you go on to another couple, I want to just say this real quick because I don't want it to seem like they were absolutely perfect. Some days we do fall short.
Yeah,
but the intention and the motive behind how we care for each other and how we treat one another is always our answers. Mine is his heart and his is I'm your dog.
You my dog.
I don't know if he answered your question.
I did. He said
y'all answered it the way that y'all wanted to answer it. It's authentic and I love it.
I'm your dog. You my dog. It's that simple.
Sherelle, I love the fact that you said that. You know, it's interesting though. So when we're posting on social media and, you know, we have our supporters and followings, and sometimes when we're posting things, I don't know why people tend to lean to these couples are perfect. It is never any of our intentions to make it seem like that we got this shit together. I say it all the time. It's not about the fact that we're always, you know, getting it right. It's the fact that when that shit go wrong, it's our intention, us being deliberate, making sure we get it right. That's what that marriage thing is all about. Shit is going to go wrong all the time. But are you willing to be with your dog? This my dude, this my homie, lover, friend. You know what I'm saying? This, I call him my dude, my homie, right? Here's the thing. Are we going to do what it takes to make it right? It's going to be wrong. Things are going to happen, right? And a lot of people, when they were sitting in questions, I want to actually go to this question. Oh, I'm sorry.
The Kari April talking
about? My bad. I was going to keep rolling.
Oh, okay.
Y'all wanted to answer that question too? Oh, they on mute.
Well, just for me personally speaking, the glue to our marriage, me personally speaking, is just everything that she and I have accomplished together over the years. We've taken the hard road, the entrepreneur road, and just we've lost everything on 2 separate occasions. We were able to get it back. I'm talking, we've lost cars, properties, had to move back in my parents' house, and all that was tough. And we've always persevered. And I can see the constant growth over the years in our marriage and everything. So the glue, in my perspective, has just been just her and I just working together as a collective, come hell or high water. Has it been perfect? Hell no. But we've always, the journey, going through it together or what have you. And just me at 43, and I'll be 44 next month. At this point in my life, I'm on some legacy shit. And I'm looking at what she and I have accomplished and what we're continuing to accomplish and everything. It's just from this point, it's all about creating a legacy for our 4 boys. And just the sheer fact with what we're doing, I can totally see that, we're going to be able to, achieve even bigger and better things. And the beauty of it is like we're doing this together. And again, it has not been easy. And I give April, all the credit in the world, because like me, I live, breathe, and shit this business thing. I've been this way. I grew up, both my parents were business owners and all of that. But see, it wasn't like that with April. And so, I've poured into her, and in turn, she's always made a conscious effort to come out of her shell and then just grind right along with me. And I'm forever grateful to her, for that, because I know I can be extremely, difficult at times.
Really?
But, yeah, right.
Breezy, we gotta move to the next question, brother.
Yeah. But go ahead, AJ. Chime in.
No, if you want to go. Well, all right, real quick. So mine was pretty much the same as Althea. Just going back to where, we started from, and pretty much the same as you, where we are now. So that's pretty much the bond, that's the glue that's keeping us together, starting from looking at where we were and to where we are now, and not wanting to go back to that or starting all over again. That's what keeps it together.
All right, y'all, I got a sexy question. All right, y'all ready for this? Real quick. If you ain't got this in your bedroom, your sex life ain't popping. What is that thing? If you ain't got this, help people out. Look at Althea cracking up already. Tell them, if you don't have this in your bedroom, your sex life ain't popping. Look at everybody's face. Who gonna go first?
We just gonna go. We don't really need anything. Like we so good. Music helps, but for real, it can just be quiet. We actually like to not like talk to each other, but we do like say things while it's happening, and it's like we don't really need anything. Like we'll have stuff. We've had things, of course, but Black and I don't really need nothing. We get it popping.
But we 5-6 years in. You know what I'm saying? But I'm saying I'm talking marriage, yeah. So we not like the Brashears. They 22 years in. They
don't make their name sound like they all important.
Yeah, the Brashears. So yeah, but we good right now. Who knows what'll happen in 5-10 years from now?
Okay, all right. Who next? Everybody got to answer this one.
Go ahead.
What? I was waiting on you. I would probably agree. Like we don't really need a whole bunch of stuff, but we do have stuff. So
I don't need nothing but a wet towel when it's over. That's it.
see, that's all I need is my tongue. Like my tongue is that's it. So yeah, that's what I would say. Probably like a little couple of toys. I mean, if for anybody that want to know, so we do have like, you know, dildos, we have like vibrators, we have like the well, not for you, y'all.
Let's be clear.
We have like
Are you sure I feel?
yeah, like the
I ain't
little
with none of
gummy
that.
rings and you know, like lingerie and stuff like that. So if you want to keep it spicy, you definitely have some stuff to just, you know, do what you want to do. But we don't really need too much anything. As long as I got my mouth, I'm good.
I'm a freak.
I know that's right.
Freaked out.
Yeah.
Freaked
All
out.
right, McCall's look nervous, y'all. Y'all all right over there?
No, we good. I think I don't feel like there's anything that you need because like as long as you got an imagination, like you get it on and popping in the bedroom, in the car, wherever. Like I don't know if that's a Scorpio in me or what.
Quiet ones. You gotta watch out for the quiet ones.
Yeah, quiet ones.
McCall's the nastiest out of everybody.
I don't think we've ever used any type of toys, like maybe oils or something like that. But I feel like I'm just naturally stimulated. Like I can be stimulated by the conversation he has. And before we get home, we at the red light. I'm like, I'm ready to go. So
right.
yeah, we don't need
Keep your eyes on the road. Keep your eyes hands on the steering wheel.
I definitely want to say we need anything particular in the bedroom. I think is like location is a thing, like different locations in different places. That's a thing, being spontaneous. But I don't think it's like one particular like gadget or nothing we need. Like our connection is pretty strong. It could be Family Guy in the background. It don't really matter.
Brashears, what y'all got?
So
you know that's your name now, right?
Don't do that.
I mean, like Kari said, we've been at this for over 20 some years now. So there's definitely something that I have to have. And I don't even know what the name, and not saying that he's not doing what he needs to be doing, but it just enhances it more with me. I'm like going through
I don't mind being a team player.
That's right.
So I don't know, with me going, I'm like 43 now. So I'm getting to this phase where I need a little bit of help sometimes. So I don't know what this toy is called, but it is shaped like it's almost shaped like a banana, but it has like an opening,
tongue,
like a tongue.
A tongue, yeah.
And it like vibrates, and you can actually change the speed on it. I don't know what the name of it is, but it is a must. Like for the past how many years now?
I want to say you've been rocking with about 3 years.
About 3 years. Like that vacation is going in my bag. But yeah, it's a must. So I'm sorry, y'all, but 20 something years, I need to have it right now.
I mean, like, do you take it with you on vacation? I was just about to say,
we take it on vacation. It's in my bag.
You didn't forgot the toothbrush, but remember the toy.
I can get a toothbrush from the hotel, so I can't get that from the hotel.
Right. That's replaceable.
Many of things that have gotten forgotten on our vacations.
But that's not one of them.
Important stuff, deodorant or toothbrush. You know what I'm saying?
You can buy that anywhere. They have that down in the front desk.
A pair of shoes that I put right by the suitcase. You know, ask her, make sure you pack these. But that toy, oh no, that joint find its way in that bag. But but no, it feels good, So I'll vouch for it. You know what I'm saying? It does. Just a little bit.
April, they say, don't forget to share that info.
Right.
I'll know about it.
Say, drop that info.
Yeah.
Dr. E, we're gonna answer this too. Go ahead. What you say?
I just need the birthday suit. Just come with the birthday suit. But one thing that I do love that I would be an advocate of, I probably need to get it sponsored, is the wedge.
I know the wedge.
It's a pillow that's shaped like a triangle.
Great
like
angles.
Oh my goodness.
Fellas, just right.
Fellas, look up wedge. It comes in two sizes. It comes in a small size for the bed, and it's a big size you can throw on the floor. When she come out and she see that joint in the middle of the floor, you already know what time it is.
Yeah.
You already know.
Oh goodness.
I'm looking on Amazon right now. Bro.
Hey, bro, it's gonna change some things around. It's called.
Oh yeah,
wedge.
all right. Let me go. Let me find this way.
Actually, we can use pillows
hold you up just
for the
right.
weight.
You ain't gotta hold all of it.
Yeah. I use pillows too, but they say
Like
this
pillows under.
yeah, but they say that this is built for what we trying to do.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Look, when I give a recommendation, man, you need to follow that joint.
Yeah.
You getting it right now.
Wedge and the pillows.
You know, you can just unzip it and throw it in the wash. It's everything.
Get the wedge, man. Don't even think about it, man.
I
Just
got
get
you.
that joint.
Got you.
You get a wedge. You get a wedge.
You get a wedge. Hey, we'd have been thinking I would have got wedges for all of y'all,
Right.
and that would have been the gift for everybody.
Oh, you can still do it. You can still do it.
Get your wedge now.
They said my husband's on Amazon searching as we speak.
I'm trying to told you. Trust me, when I give a recommendation, it's over.
For me, I'm not a toy girl, but I was thinking about when I saw this question. If you don't have like a nightstand full of like hand towels or towels, otherwise we just need to keep throwing away a whole mattress. So
our situation is a little special. We need to,
I just said to have like,
we need to keep regular towels.
She is not a toy girl. I don't even know why she named all those things she had. What toys you use?
The dildo.
You use the Cliffo. I don't use none of that. None of that. She is lying. What last time? That's why in the box.
You don't know.
You better hide that joint.
Go get it.
Cliff about to throw all them joints away.
I believe we agree that there's, as long as you're there enjoying it with your partner, if I ever felt like we needed to bring something in, as long as it's us in here having fun together, like I could, watch him go at it. Like, hey, as long as I'm there and I get to enjoy it, sure, why not? Like, I don't have no problems with it, right? Let's switch gears a little bit. Let's switch gears. We got to have a business discussion because all of you own some phenomenal businesses. Like if you all have not saw the things that they are connected to, you are missing out. We're showing their IG, their Facebook, their websites. Go and be a part of what it is that they are doing. I'm not going to go through it all, but somebody wants to know, when you recognize your business growth is being interrupted by your spouse, how do you save your marriage while growing your business to the next level? Or can you? I know that was deep. Look at your eyes like, whoo, that was a lot. Look at everybody's face, y'all like, we ain't touching that with a 10-foot pole.
And here's the thing. You may want to give some insight on how to keep from getting to that place. If you haven't gotten to that place, how do you keep from getting to that place?
I just think from our experience, it's just communication. It sounds like if you get to that place, then someone's been avoiding having a conversation that they need to have a long time ago to where it's affecting the business.
That's good.
If you got some concerns, you just need to communicate and talk about it. And hopefully, your partner understands and you can figure out how to move forward, protect the marriage and protect the business.
So on that, if has anybody been in a situation that you don't mind disclosing where, because what he's saying is you got to have courage and guts to come to your spouse and say, I messed up and this is going to impact our money. Has anybody been through that? Like, how do you have those kind of conversations where it's going to be like you might get slapped or somebody mad?
I mean, I would say for transparency, and I think this is more so a byproduct of like April not really coming from a business background or knowing anything about business. At least initially, when I first started in business, she wasn't fully supportive. And that really bothered me. That was a serious thorn. And they even take it a step further. I didn't realize it at the time, it bothered me more than even what I thought it did. I kind of looked at it as betrayal, so to speak. And and it was something that she and I eventually had a come to Jesus moment about. And once and it was a byproduct of things having to be tangible. And so once it became tangible for her, she was fully on board after that. But that can definitely be tough because you need your spouse's support. And if the individual is not supporting the spouse in their business venture or what have you, not only is that not fair, if the business venture really gets to popping, do they get to reap the benefits of it? I mean, you weren't with it, so why do you get the benefits of it if and when it gets to popping? That would be my question. So that's hella tough.
So how did you push through? Give us the answer to the test.
I was he needs to call her out on it.
Yeah,
he needs to call her out on it and just be matter of fact. This is what I need. I need A, B, and C. Yeah. And if you can't give me that, then these are the repercussions, and he needs to stand on those repercussions.
Yeah.
What do you think?
As far as that situation, also, I think the other person needs to recognize what they're doing and why they're doing it. Like what Kari was saying, as far as me not being supportive. And now looking back, I recognize why I was doing it. I was doing that because I thought, no, this is his. This is what he's doing. This is his business. He's driving it. That's all you. I had what I'm doing over here. So I was more of a competition mode than a trying to help mode. I'm trying to do what I need to do over here so he can see what I'm doing and get his approval. So it's more of a competition than me trying to support him. So me realizing that now I'm all full in on everything. So that's just how I think.
So that a lot of couples are going through that. What did it take? It took for you to see the fruits of his labor before you turned over?
Well, that, and it also took me seeing how it affected him. It got to a point where we had a conversation about it, and he was really tearing up, and I didn't know he really felt that way about it. It was, like he said, resentment. And I don't want him to resent me for anything. So when I saw that's how he felt, I was I just realized this is what I'm doing, and this is not how I want him to feel.
One real quick, then we're gonna move to the next one. What I hear is Kari was able to muster up the courage to actually be vulnerable. That's what a lot of couples don't do. In that moment, they would shut down. He would have shut down. He wouldn't have expressed himself. He would have just said, I'm out. He would have started acting out. Instead, he became vulnerable. He started crying. He became a sucker. It's he became vulnerable. He did the right thing. Yeah. That's my brother. He did the right thing. All right, who wants to go next?
We can go. So we have not personally dealt with that issue. However, just to say it as far as my opinion and our opinions on it, is that sometimes your spouse may not be supportive of your entrepreneurship journey because they don't have the mind for entrepreneurship. And we have to understand that entrepreneurship is not for everybody. Mm-hmm. And sometimes if that were to be the case and your spouse cannot see it, it's not that it's something that's wrong with you. It's just something that they cannot comprehend. So that's one side of the tree. But that's on the good. Other side of the tree, there is also a possibility that your spouse could very well be jealous of you. And we don't want to eliminate that or ignore it because it is very true. there are spouses that are jealous of their wife or jealous of their husband because they don't want them doing better than them, or they don't want them to have a sense of, you know, leadership or a sense of control when it comes down to finances or money, especially sometimes when women, when they step outside and if the man feels like, wow, she makes more than me, she's going to control me, that it can be a friction. So sometimes you have to reevaluate if you still belong in that space and if your business is taking you to another season with a different person.
So I hear if you got a jealous spouse, you need to be out.
Yeah.
That's what I heard.
Now you went.
I heard wrong.
I'm
read between the lines.
this way, because I'm not saying him, but I'm just saying on both sides, because it is very true. And sometimes people don't live their dreams, don't fulfill their purpose and their passions, not only just because of spouse, but because of children too. You get what I'm saying? So at some point, you got to ask yourself, you know, like, hey, can I still stay in this space and be authentically me in all things that I desire to be? And if I cannot do that, you know, what does that leave me to do? Why am I here?
You can't turn a big dream to a small-minded individual.
Yeah.
Somebody else.
I had literally just had a thought that Vaughn told me, I don't know, 4 years ago, whenever it was when I got my first 6-figure job, and Vaughn at that point was a mentor. She wasn't even, we weren't close. We were just mentor mentee at that point. And she said, well, hey, and I don't even know if you remember, Vaughn, but you said, listen, this is your first 6-figure job. You're going to enter into an environment with a lot of other 6-figure men, and you're going to go into this environment, especially working in sales, where, you know, people are going to show off the yachts, the Porsches, all of these finer things in life. And she said, you have to be really mindful of that, especially because you're in this new marriage. Be mindful that there are going to be people that, you know, don't care about your marriage and will intentionally try to step on your marriage with the things that they have, to throw off the balance. And so for me, that reigns true today. And it's also something that our therapist told us to be conscious of, that with the business that we have today, there may be situations where the man, some networking person, may only want to speak with me, or there may be a woman that only wants to work with him because they're familiar with his work. You know, they're not trying to have a group conversation. So I think putting boundaries in place and anticipating those types of conversations and saying, well, babe, if I, you know, go to lunch with this guy, if it's a business lunch, how do you feel about that? Is that cool with you? Do you feel like you want to sit in on it? And vice versa. You know, if you had to go to lunch with a woman, you know, let's talk about that. And so I think anticipating those things keeps it from becoming an issue, and it keeps the other person from feeling jealous, and in turn sabotaging the business if there's that type of transparency.
I like that one of the things, and somebody was just saying that, I think April was mentioning it as well, making sure that your partner feels a part of your business, right? It's not his business. It's not my business. I may be at the forefront. He may be at the forefront, but this is our business together. So making sure that when you start these business ideas and these new ventures, that you make your partner feel a part. Ask their feedback, you know, even if they are not completely familiar with everything that you're doing, but keep them abreast of what's going on. And that will help you with them supporting you. Because like you said, April, when I feel like it's your thing, you know, like when he started his practice and full transparency, I was like, oh, y'all going to get a building? Oh, you decided, y'all got a logo now, right? So April, remember, I was like, wait, what? Like, you know, so again, that leaves too much space for those feelings to start mustering up and feeling some type of way that your spouse is moving in a manner that you weren't even aware of. So keep that person involved. Ask their feedback. Whether or not you take it 100%, completely up to you, but still have the discussion with them so they can ultimately encourage you and support you. So that's how I feel about that.
Well, one of the things that I heard was, and I heard this throughout, I know every relationship, couples don't have businesses together, but what I hear is when you do have something together, that's like a business, it forces you to communicate. It forces you to have communication. If you don't have nothing between y'all, that gives you space to be able to not talk. But when you gotta come together because we gotta have this meeting, that's a good thing. So, I think that was one of the questions was, can you have a business with your spouse? Sometimes y'all don't see eye to eye financially and it doesn't work out. But, I like what everybody had to say on that. I don't think we heard from the Duncans on that point as far as.
I was about to just say, we haven't had that issue, but what we have had is that Black and I have always been, serial entrepreneurs. And when we got married, we created a business together. We've always had like ideas of doing business, but sorry, y'all, she's extremely tired. She hasn't had a nap all day and she's been partying all day. So she's tired. You should see her moving all over the place. But so when we did, when Forever Duncan did happen and we created all of these different things, and then that kind of slowed down, right? And then I got pregnant, I had the baby, and then immediately after having the baby, I went straight for the good thing, right? And so when I did that, Black did feel a certain way. Like he wasn't like jealous, but he was just like, all right, we got the play, we got all of these things. What are we doing with Forever Duncan? Are we doing anything? Like, not are we doing, but when are we doing it? And I was so focused on the good thing because it was like elevating so quick, and I was just trying to keep up with everything. And being a new mom, it did put a strain on our relationship. Like with the new baby and all of this, it did put a strain on the relationship. It wasn't like a jealousy thing. I think it was more so of
so yeah, I'll speak to that. So I think because we moved before this, of course, I was doing some things solo, music, all of that type of stuff. We didn't have these things together. Then Forever Duncan came and we did all of these things together. And then Forever Duncan stopped because she started doing her thing. So I would say a part of me was like, yo, like, damn, like I gotta get my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm starting to lose my identity because my identity is just Forever Duncan, and I poured all into Forever Duncan, but now she get to sidestep and do the good thing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, well, where does that leave me? So it wasn't
that's
jealousy.
to make me cry.
It wasn't necessarily a jealousy thing. It was just like I need to find something that's just me, that I can feel proud about or happy about because I'm creative. And I'm proud about what she's doing as well, and I'm supporting her and all of that.
Yeah, he's creating graphics.
Yeah,
he's doing a lot of things for the good thing, but it just wasn't us building together.
I mean, I think every person wants, I think that it's very important for you to, although we do a lot of things together and our brand is together, I think it's very important for you to also have your own identity.
That's such a perfect segue. Yes, please talk about that at all. I want all the couples, because that is definitely a question. How do you maintain an individual identity in a marriage, right? Because a lot of times, and thinking about my previous marriage, I lost myself. Matter of fact, I didn't even know who I was, honestly, right? I went from being 19 years old with one daughter to being married with 3 daughters, right? Church, work, business, just all these other things. But I had no idea who I was. I didn't develop my identity. So, of course, once I went through that divorce, and now, even before going into this marriage, that's where that whole fly concept comes in for me. First, loving yourself. I realized my mistake was I didn't know who I was at my core. So now, as we progress throughout our marriage, which is extremely important, is the individual identities that we have, right? How do you maintain your individual identities while keeping your marriage together?
I would say, and I think this is definitely a great segue. So, initially, I mean, for the most part, I've always spearheaded things, as far as our businesses and everything like that, or what have you. And so just as of like really recently, I've made it a point to kind of like say, for example, like the trucking, our logistics company. I had told April, I'm like, look, this is all you. I'm at a point where I'm stretched like a rubber band or what have you. Like this is you. And I intentionally kind of like I threw her to the wolves. I would, when she asked for, help or advice, I would give it to her. And then, but oftentimes she'll ask me and I'll be like, I defer to you. I mean, this not my lane. So what do you think is best? Then she'll tell me what she thinks is best. I'm like, okay, all right, that's fine with me. And I intentionally like did that because I wanted her to develop her own identity, and I intentionally, stayed out the way. I would ask her from time to time, okay, well, how are things going? Oh, everything good? Okay, all right, cool. And there'll be times when she'll get frustrated, she'll get angry, and these are trying, she'll go through some trying times. And I'll be like, look, you gotta figure it out. That's just what it is. You see what I go through on a daily basis or what have you. So, I'm bogged down with what I'm doing. You just gotta figure it out. And that's just what it is. And she didn't like that at first or whatever, but I had to stay true to, at least from my perception, like helping her, get her own identity. So she'll have her own kind of like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, carve out her own niche or what have you, in our businesses. And I think it's done very well. I mean, what do you think?
So I guess to go back to the whole identity part of it, me and Kari met when I was 21, and I think he was like 22. So we were really, really young, and I really didn't know who I was as a person or what I wanted to do as a person. So I pretty much followed his lead. I took on his identity. I fell into the entrepreneurship because of him. So I didn't know who I was at that point. But as I got older and the business started to grow, and I start to network with other, like Vaughn, other women, other females, and I started to get my own friends, that's how I started to develop my own identity. And I tried to, it's still me and him together, but now I can see what I missed when I was younger, as far as trying to develop myself and become the woman that I am now. It took me until I was in my late 30s to actually find out who I was and separate myself from being Kari, because it's always been just me and him. So now we're still together, but it's like I am coming into my own, and I have my own identity, and I have my own thoughts, and I have my own opinions. And it was hard because, like I said, we started so young, and I just gravitated to what I thought is what I needed to do with him. So
and it was just kind of like that because when we were so young, but I always knew. I've always known like what I wanted to do and everything like that, in the direction that I wanted to head in. And I would ask her, what is it that you want to do? So we can work on that. And she would never know. So I'm like, okay, well, since you don't know, we want to do this right here.
We both.
Right. And we're gonna figure it out as we go. And that's just how it always just has kind of been.
Get everybody to answer that.
Did anybody else want to speak on that?
What?
Oh, you just would.
I thought you wanted to speak. I think for us, and if we be transparent too, we actually just like sometime around last year went through a whole identity thing as far as us being our authentic selves within our marriage and out in public and things of that nature. So I think for us, it's just that you have to, again, identify who you are and not be ashamed of that, and allow for your spouse to see that person in you. Like, let your spouse see, like, hey, this is who I am. This is what I bring to the table. Here are my flaws. These are my hobbies. This is where I like to go. This is where I like to shop, whatever it is. Allow for your spouse to do that. So that way you won't become the shadow of the person that you sleep with. You know, you want to be your own light. You want to be your own butterfly. You get what I'm saying? And you want to be your own person in that space. And your spouse just has to be okay with it, and vice versa.
Just to piggyback off what you were saying, having your own lane is like very important. It's very important because a lot of people are opportunists, and if they see their spouse, you know what I'm saying, reaching these high mounts, these goals, or whatever the case may be, they may try to jump on the bandwagon. Because I once was not an opportunist, but I'm like the jack of all trades. I do a lot. Like I do like almost everything under the sun but swim. You know what I'm saying? Everything. But I felt like I've never succeeded in any of these things. I've always tried to find my niche. But now I'm at a place in my life, I'm 37. I finally found what I really want to do for myself. And it's like it's working for us both. Yeah. I've disconnected from the matrix, as my good people told me at the dinner table. It just works. You just have to find your lane, man. You have to find what works for you, your dream, what you want for yourself, and really, really push for. And don't be jealous of your spouse. That's crazy.
And I also think it's a beautiful thing too. Once you see your spouse walk in their own and true identity, it's like a turn on. It's attractive because it's like, damn, baby, that looked good on you. You know what I'm saying? It's real. So yeah, just be your true self.
Awesome. McCalls, we definitely want to make sure everybody answer this one.
I think when it comes to maintaining your identity, I think it's important to be honest about where you feel vulnerable. And if, I think when people have an identity crisis, it's probably because they've spent years supporting someone else's identity or supporting someone else's dream, and they've shelved theirs for so long that they don't even know what happiness looks like or what success looks like according to their standards. And so I think for me, I've always known that I was probably more of the voice of the relationship or the voice of the marriage. I'm the more outgoing person, but I have to be conscious and not overshadow his voice, and I know he's going to always support me, but I can't get so comfortable in that support that I forget to support him. So I try to always remain conscious of, this being, just a two-way sort of exchange, and even to the point where I said, okay, we're going to have a Jay day where we only talk about what Jay wants to do, what Jay's goals are, what it is that bothers you. Like, we're going to spend the next couple of days, whatever that time was we had the conversation, I was like, we're going to spend the next few days just solely focusing on you. And I try to make that a regular practice. So I feel like I'm comfortable in my identity, but, I want him to be comfortable in his. And so we've had those conversations for each other, even building this business together. I think it's just something we constantly talk about. Like, I don't want the business to be us. I still want us to be individuals. So,
yeah, I think, I know that identity is really important. A couple years ago, I actually kind of went into depression from I thought I was supporting the marriage, but I was sacrificing, I guess, who I was. Like, before when we got together, or before we got together, I used to listen to trap music in the car. I used to spend a bunch of time working on music or this project or that project. And when we got together, I realized, a lot of that stuff wasn't good for our relationship. She didn't want to hear loud music in the car all the time. She, wanted to actually spend time with me. So it wasn't good for our marriage. So I pretty much, a lot of my passions I had to shelve. So I went to therapy and realized, I all my passions kind of died out, and I was just serving the marriage, but I lost my identity in that process. So it took a process of me, remembering, what did I like? Oh, I like to go do this. I like to go play basketball. I like to network with these people or hang out with these people. It took a process for me to kind of get that back. So, if you can help it, you always want to make time for yourself and make sure your spouse or significant other understands what you're going through, so they don't feel like you're trying to distance themselves from you, or you trying to put distance. It's like, hey, I'm just want to make sure I'm taking care of myself so I can be there for our relationship.
Good stuff.
I love it. I love it.
Duncan's identity. I think Black started talking about it and y'all didn't get to go into
it. So yeah, I know for us, like I'll call it a mental breakdown. And Althea and Cliff, we actually talked about this on our podcast. I had a mental breakdown because of me flourishing with the good thick, and our marriage was like in shambles. It was in shambles. And so I had a serious come to Jesus moment. And honestly, our therapist, we do individual therapy, and then we do like couples therapy. But that day, I didn't even have a scheduled session. I just called her, and she heard my voice, and she was like, this is all she said. She said, go, just go. And when and she meant however I felt, just go. And I literally was like crying and screaming in the phone on my knees, like just letting go of so much. And the things that I was saying out loud scared the shit out of me, because I was like, oh, I think that is not real. And it was so crazy, because it showed me that a lot of times when we lose our identity, we are trapped in thoughts that aren't even reality. There are things, there are narratives that we create in our minds that we allow to take, like we allow it to live, right? We allow it to live. And that shit was so scary for me. It was a lot of trauma, a lot of hurt, a lot of pain from the past that had absolutely nothing to do with him, but because the good thick was flourishing, and I knew we, like he said, we are each other's dogs, so I can feel that he wasn't okay. I started to take these things on, and those things started to take a precedence in our marriage, and I started to lose who I really was. I've always been extremely confident, like in myself as an individual. But then when we started when that whole thing started, I started to, even though the good thing was flourishing, I was shrinking as a human. Like my business was like boom, 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 boom. But me, I was just like going, it was the weirdest shit I'd ever went through in my life. And he was out on a work retreat. And when I went through it, I was so grateful for it. I don't even know if I can teach this healing, right? I don't even know if I can teach what this is. And I know that we're supposed to be helpful and resourceful. But what I will say is embrace a moment that is presented uncomfortable, because a lot of times it's healing powers in that moment. And allow yourself to look crazy even in front of yourself, right? Because when I look back, and even when I shared it with him, and he was so touched by it. But I was like, that was the craziest shit I've ever went through in my life. I've never experienced that type of healing. So for me, it was just having my therapist to be able to call and her to hear me. And she already knew what him and I were going through. And so when she heard me, I was like, hi, doc. And she was like, go. She immediately said go. And I went hard. And she didn't say one word. And at the end of it, when I just hung up on her. And when I hung
God, she always hanging up on people. She's hung up on the therapist.
You see how I just realized that shit? Like, damn, you know what? I'm gonna work on that too in 10 days. I'm gonna work on it. Don't hang up on no damn body. That shit is wrong.
You do not get permission to hang up.
I'm not going to hang up no more, bro. I promise you, I'm not hanging up on anybody. I promise you. But for me, it was just really owning that moment of healing, so that I know who I am, and I know whose I am, and I know who I'm supposed to be in my marriage and to my kids. Even if I don't know every day, but right now I know that I have a job to do. I I have to show up. I have to
Mhm.
show up. If I don't show up, shit is going to be fucked.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that helped, but that's just
No, everything that you all are saying within, again, we talked about this authenticity, transparency. They are going crazy in the chat. They are loving what it is that you all are showing. And I tell people all the time, people buy people, not products, right? They realize they can put their hands on us and say, wow, I was experiencing the same thing. I love the fact that she's transparent. I love the fact that he's vulnerable. People need to see that because unfortunately, social media puts this, again, pressure on people to feel like, oh, I got to show up like this all the time, every day, no days off. No, we real people. We go through shit. We want to break up some, and who wants to burn down shit? Who's the one who's burning up? Jasmine, Scorpio, the other Scorpio, right? Yeah, I know Sherelle. She'd be like, yes, me too. Right? Well, y'all, sex, love, business, and marriage. Y'all, I want 2 more questions and we're gonna close this out. We're gonna close this out. What go ahead.
I wanted to say something.
You want to say something? Go ahead. My bad. We okay.
I guess it ain't supposed to be about us.
It's not right. That's why we went on Wednesday. But go ahead.
It was so good.
It was good. It was real good. It was a drop mic.
Let me just say this. What we just heard was a lesson in codependency. This was a lesson in codependency. You become so codependent on your partner when you don't have an identity. You must have your identity so that you can stand on your own. That defeats jealousy. Now I don't have to be jealous of you because of the good fit or the trucking or the self-defense or the guns or whatever y'all got going on. The $1 million in a week social YouTube channel. Like I don't have to get jealous of that because I have my own thing, right? So that's all I'm gonna say. I'm shut up.
Okay.
She's trying to rush me.
I know. We held them 30
Everybody
minutes.
else get to talk. I can't talk.
This is not your time. We see how we went through this. We rehearsed and everything. I said it's about this. Okay, all right. So two, and we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up tonight. What is your message to the single folk? We need, because we had some single people to join. And they, of course, some of them are on the bandwagon of I'm ready for love, I'm ready for commitment, I'm ready for marriage. But how do I thrive in my singleness? Because at one point we were all single, right? Now we're hooked up. What is your message to the single folk? Is it, hey, stay single, be happy, or you'll find your loved one? See, look at y'all laughing. I know.
I think
don't do it. Don't get married.
Yeah,
very ghetto. Do not recommend. Very ghetto. I love my husband. I love him.
I know, right? He ain't going nowhere. All right, y'all. So give me a quick something to the single folk, and then we're gonna wrap it up with one last question, and we're gonna go ahead and close it out. So give me something quick, y'all. For the single folk.
Heal first, heal your traumas. Do not expect your partner to fix you, feel you, supplement you, or do any of those things. You need to go into any relationship, even if it's just, not marriage, whatever the relationship status is, you need to go into it as a whole person.
That's good.
And I think if you don't go into it as a whole person and you assign that responsibility to your significant other, you're going to spend years and years and years going in this cycle that becomes toxic. So heal whatever traumas you can. It's not going to get healed overnight, but as much as you can, start going to therapy now for you so that you can understand, what you need and what you can give to somebody else.
Yeah. I don't think we need to hear from nobody else. We can go to the next question.
Yeah. I can't say it no better than that. That was exactly what I was thinking. Like, heal from your trauma, recognize your trauma. You may think you kind of know yourself a little bit, but spend time in therapy, kind of uncovering and digging to figure out where this come from, how did this family member affect you? Like, really dig in and understand yourself.
I love it. We're going to come to y'all braziers right next. When I think about y'all saying heal, I think about a Band-Aid going on a wound that's pussing and has blood on it, and you take it off, and then you put it on another wound, and you take it off and you put it. Isn't that disgusting? Right. The depiction, the thought of it, but that's how it is. When you have not healed, you are literally transferring all of that stuff that you got from one situation to the next. So even when some people think about, well, I'm not gonna ever have it together, I'll never find someone. Yes, you will. Work on you, focus on you, but make sure you heal, because otherwise, you're all you're doing is just transferring, and it's never going to be how you ultimately desire. So I love that. I'm sorry, Bray, just go ahead. You touched on that.
No, I was just going to say, just, love yourself and know what you want as far as what do you want, but how I'm trying to hold on one second. Love yourself and know exactly what it is you want in this relationship, because you can't go into a relationship thinking that they know what you want. So you need to know what you want, and you need to be able to communicate what you want to that other person. And if you don't know what you want, you can expect them to know what you want or what you need. So loving yourself and knowing what you want and who you are, and then you can explain that to the other person, and they can reciprocate what you need.
And then I would just like to add to that is just, for the singles out there, once you really do meet that right one, try your very best for the both of you to move as a collective. Move as a collective. I mean, in my opinion, there are like too many marriages out here that really don't move as a collective. There's just two individuals, doing what they individually, want to do, and they have their own individual approach to how the marriage is supposed to be. And, oftentimes they find themselves at odds. And I think the root of that is they're not really moving as a collective and moving with one mind, collective mindset. And you can definitely have your own, individual identities and all like that. And that's great. But at least the mindset needs to be, as a collective, a one unit type mentality. Yeah.
Good. Duncan's. She's like, what do we?
I was trying to wait till the baby quiet.
Oh, okay.
You want to go first, baby?
Nah, I want to feed off of you.
There you go.
That's what she said. You are crazy.
Nah,
so I definitely agree. So real quick, when Black and I started dating, one of the things that attracted him to me is that I was working on me. I was healing myself. I was on my fitness journey really hard. I had just gotten out of a really bad relationship. But also I want to add this too. Date, right? Date not to just smash other people, but it goes kind of like what April was saying. It helps you to know like what you want in a relationship, because to be honest with you, I was dating other people while I was kind of seeing Black, and he was
what?
You about to fake? You about to fake on this place?
Rules here. We gotta go back.
He just saying this because I found condoms in his house when we were dating, and I asked him. I said, "Oh, you having sex with somebody else?" He's like, "Yeah, we wasn't together." So look at us now. But I honestly just say, like I said, one of the things that attracted him to me is me actually working on myself and really getting to know who I was and working out and figuring out what life looks like for me now that I'm a single mom with a child and I have to raise this child. And so definitely working on yourself. And also I wasn't in therapy, but I had a life coach, and it really helped a lot. It helped me to heal from my relationship, not completely heal, right? So I wasn't completely healed when I was back. I'm still not completely healed, right? I'm still working through certain things, but I don't expect him to help me to do that, because those are my traumas, right? And so I think just being intentional, there's that word again, but being intentional about working on yourself and really going into it, knowing, being confident in who you are and who you're going to be, and growing to know yourself, and being okay with your flaws and the things that you need to fix, and holding yourself accountable. All those things are so necessary to have like a successful relationship with yourself first, and then with your spouse.
Absolutely.
I would say,
I thought you was gonna feed off of me.
I am feeding off of you. So one of the things that I did when I started dating my wife is that I said that I was going to be unapologetically me. In other relationships, I did things to try to please my partner. I wasn't truly myself, I think. And so I said in this relationship, or even when we started dating, I was like, look, I'm just going to be completely honest, totally honest. And I said some brutally honest things to my then girl. Well, were you my girlfriend, or was you just?
I was your girlfriend.
No, we was just smashing. We was just smashing.
The timeline is messy, but we were together.
All right. So I was brutally honest with her because it was just certain things that I was like, look, I'm just gonna be honest with her. Like, I didn't want her to meet my son, unless I knew that it was something serious. So we was dating for like 3-6 months, and she wanted to meet my son. I was like, nah, I'm not cool with that. And then one time she actually told me that she said, I think I'm falling in love with you. And it made me uncomfortable because I didn't want to say it back. And so I honestly said, look, I appreciate it if you don't tell me that. So long story short, I
still haven't healed from that.
Long story short, I told myself that when I get in the next relationship, I'm going to date the person. I also told her that I didn't want to have sex with her. Like I wanted to wait a certain time or whatever, because I really wanted to learn her. I really wanted to know her fully so that I can, be sure that I'm supposed to move on with her. So I think it's very important that you are totally honest with yourself before you date. Then I also think that you are totally honest with yourself and the person that you're dating, about certain expectations or how you feel. And I think, I think that's very important, so that you can just show up and feel comfortable with showing up as yourself. A lot of people don't feel in dating. A lot of people don't feel comfortable showing up as themselves. Like sometimes they date and they show 75% of themselves, and then 25% is just trying to impress you. Whereas I'm gonna show up 100% me, and if you ain't rocking with it, then then I know that you ain't for me.
That's right.
That's good. Real quick, what you said, what I think is a good message for single women out there, from a guy's perspective. Guys, if he is serious, if he wants to build with you, his first thing is not sex. He does not want to have sex with you off the top because he don't want to think of you as a hoe. He don't want to categorize you that way. He wants to learn you. Now, if the first thing he's showing you, like I had a client, she said, yeah, I met the guy on Wilson Bridge and his first text message was a dick pic. I said, damn. The first text message?
He's showing them what he's working with.
Hold on.
What you're working with.
But look though, you said she's a client. So are they like? Did she get married to the dude?
No, this was they had just met.
Oh, okay.
She just met this dude. She jogging across the bridge, man. But that that dude is not trying to really get to know you. All he want to do is that. So I think you gave a good point as far as just women to have a point of reference in the first couple of conversations. If he's already trying to hook up with you, you already know he ain't trying to be about you like that.
Right.
Purse.
For us, I would probably say first, I loved McCall's answer. Like she just blew it out the water. That was it. That was it. The drop. But I would probably say, recognize your toxic traits and your addictions that you have not recognized as of yet. And I just say that for me because I know, but prior to us meeting and once we started dating, I was doing a lot of self-healing. So like I was in bed by 7 and 8 o'clock at night. My house would be pitch black. I would make sure I get up in the morning and just have my own self together. And it was because my past relationship it was extremely toxic. And that wasn't toxic. I noticed that I played a part in that toxicity. And not only that, but I was addicted to it. You get what I'm saying? It didn't feel good in the moment. But at the same time, I liked the rowdiness. I liked the fact that I was fighting niggas. I was fighting females. I was in the club, things of that nature. I was doing so much that I didn't like, but I was addicted to it at the same time. So I had to get myself into a space where, again, I healed and I was honest with myself. And I had to say, hey, listen, this is what I cannot do again. Not only can I not do it, it doesn't feel good and I don't deserve it. So that would be what I would say.
And for me, real quick, don't rush it. When it's your time, it's your time. Mm-hmm. God got a plan for you. When he opened them doors, walk through it.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, y'all, we have held you. I know I said 2 questions, but we're going to stop it there. I know the McCalls, you all hung in there with us. Thank you so much. They had the baby. She put him, she real good at that, mama. She was like, put him to sleep. She slid him off and came back. We so appreciate you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Braziers, thank you all so much. You all are phenomenal. We love you all. The Hearst team, I love you all. Thank you so much. And of course, the wonderful Duncans. If you all are not following them, if you're not a part of their world and everything that they have going on, all of their information, I've shown it several times tonight. Make sure you go to their website. Get into their DMs. Tell them thank you so much for sharing their lives with you, at least the past 2 hours with you. One last thing I want to say. We need to see in the chat, if we decide to bring this thing live, like I have, begged and plead them just to be on here for these past 2 hours. If we do this live, and I'm talking about more than just the relationship, we have real estate. See, I'm working with the speech. I'm going to talk about that. Real estate. Yeah, we have 2 real estate giants. There is the logistics and trucking industry. Jasmine, she made in 4 months, her and Jay, $100,000, over $100,000 on YouTube. Of course, you have Sherelle with the Good Thick and the training. She has experience in the model agency. We have venture capitalists. The list goes on and on and on with what it is that these couples offer. And of course, can't forget about my king, Dr. E, therapy, life coach. If we bring this thing live, will you all show up? Will you all register to be a part of these workshops, these conferences, helping you start your businesses, helping you figure this thing out that's called marriage? Can you all drop that in the chat for me to let me know if you all are going to be a part of it? Here's the thing, real quick, and I'll let you all go. We actually took a survey. 155 people registered. Out of 155 people, 80% of them said, hell yeah, please keep me up to date. We want to be around them. We want to hear everything that they have to say. 17% said, maybe let me know. Of course, it probably has something to do with some coins, right? It depends on how much y'all charge, right? And only 3% said, nah, I'm good. And that's cool too. But would y'all be willing to, and I'm not holding y'all to it, I promise you, I'm not holding. Is that something y'all would be interested in, coming together, having a workshop? Let's teach them how to stay together, how to make money together, how to get freaky together. I'm just saying, yes. yes. Everybody, yes.
That and we need to work on this retreat.
Yes, I'm just saying we can turn it into a retreat. We can turn it into a getaway, a weekend, a retreat. Yes, they're saying yes, definitely. I'll be there. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Great job. They're going off. All right. So we're going to let you all know again to sign out. Please. One more time. The Braziers, could y'all, before we do that, I'm going to pass it on to my king. You've been so good to me. So helpful.
I appreciate it because I want to say something.
Okay, go ahead.
Golly.
Go ahead.
Anyway, I really like what everybody had to say to the singles as far as basically heal, learn you. Go on Amazon, get the intentionality workbook so that you can learn you. This is all about self-awareness and self-correction. Intentionality. I came up with this workbook for my clients, but I realized everybody could benefit from it. You got to learn all about your anger, your guilt, motivation, purpose. Learn about your triggers, your buttons, those buttons that people push. Learn that before you get into a relationship. That's all I'm gonna say.
Awesome. Thank you. You so amazing. I love you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go ahead and sound off one more time before we go ahead and close this out. Again, please, Braziers, let everybody know where and how they can contact you. We're also going to put the information up there one more time. And we're gonna just sound it off like that. So go ahead, Braziers.
My brother stayed up the whole time.
He took a nap beforehand, so he's good. But yeah, so you guys can follow us on social media, Facebook, April and Kari Brazier, Instagram, Total Body by April and Total Homes by April. We post everything as far as our businesses on both pages, so you can definitely check us out and follow us.
Too.
Yes, Marriage too. Yeah. On those pages.
Awesome. Well, we thank you all so much. We love you. You're our brother and sister from another mister.
April, you are. I don't know about that other guy. I know that's my
Thank
man.
you all so much. We love y'all so much. Have a good night, family.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Y'all. Love y'all.
All right, the Duncans. Let everybody know where they can reach you all at.
You can follow us on Instagram, Friends Who Smash Podcast first. We have Sherelle the Trainer, as you can see the handles, and Mr. Alfred Duncan. But you can also visit our website at friendswhosmash.com. Our information about our podcast is there. Our planning agency, Duncan Planning Agency, is there. Merch, all the things that we have going on. All the things. We officiate weddings. We do all the things, y'all.
Also the Good Thick. No,
and the Good Thick. Yep, and the Good Thick. Yep. Make sure you follow the Good Thick. We have all types of fitness. I have 8 trainers that work for me now. Hey, shout out to payroll. But, so yeah, I have 8 trainers that do a variety of different trainings with the Good Thick. So thegoodthicktraining.com. Thank y'all so much.
And also Black Men Ventures. I have a nonprofit that helps Black male founders. We create access to capital for Black male founders. So you can follow us there too. So it's Forever Dunk. You can go to foreverduncan.com or you can go to friendswhosmash.com. It's going to take you to the same thing, but that's all things Duncans.
Awesome. And congratulations on the 5% being in the top 5% of the Friends Who Smash podcast. Awesome.
Y'all 5%ers.
We love y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank y'all.
Hey, baby girl. Happy birthday.
Say hi.
Say thank you.
Say thank you.
She cute.
Whatever. Thank you so much. The hearse.
Yeah, and you see a little fly picture up in the background.
I know, right?
Everybody how they can reach you all.
All right. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at I Am Out There Hearst, and my website is www.outtherehurst.com. And you can find me with all things real estate motivation, and CEO.
All right, you can find me. It's already in the handle, HH_protection. If you want your firearm, you want to purchase your first gun, you want to carry your gun in over 42 states, hit me. Or you can go on my website at www.hurstprotection.com.
Hearst Protection. Don't he look like he gonna protect something?
I'm just saying.
Don't he look like
Absolutely.
I call him when I need protection. I'm like, I need protection. Let me call him.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Queen.
Thank you. We appreciate
for being a part. It was so fun tonight. Thank y'all so much for all that you all brought to tonight. We love you all.
Love you too. Thank you.
Appreciate y'all.
All right. Of course, last and definitely not least, they hung out with us. Thank you so much. I know the baby y'all was like, oh, but y'all hung in here with us. And I know something you all said has absolutely blessed them. So could you please tell everyone how they can contact you all?
We're definitely on Instagram at Jazz Speaks.
the J. DJ McCall on Instagram.
And we're also on YouTube, Life with Jazzy Mac. I talk about all things credit, finance, and I'm also Life with Jazzy Mac on Facebook as well. And our business website is stackthewealth.com.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Thank you so much, sis. I truly appreciate
y'all,
it.
family.
We love you all so much. Y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up for tonight. We thank you all so much again. We love you all. Have a great night. Sex, love, business, and marriage. We are doing the damn thing. All these wonderful couples. Love y'all. Good night. Of course, Empower All Day. Make sure y'all follow my king, Empower All Day.
See how I'm all last?
I mean, save the best for last. Ain't that what they say? Ain't that what they say? Save the best for last. And I didn't even do me. We focusing on them.
It's all about them.
It's all about y'all tonight. I'm just saying,
take a picture of this.
That's right.
You see how Kari took a picture?
I know, right?
He paparazzi.
He paparazzi. All right, family. We love y'all and we appreciate y'all so much. Make sure you reach out to them and tell them thank you for all of the wonderful knowledge that they shared with us tonight. All right, y'all. Good night. Good night. Good night.
We holla.
All right.